You know, sometimes a single sentence from one person can spark a massive nationwide debate. That's exactly what happened when Infosys co-founder Narayan Murthy made a pretty controversial suggestion. We're going to break down the whole firestorm it created.
So here it is. This was the statement that got everybody talking. A pretty direct call for young people in India to ramp up their work hours, like a lot. And the reason? To push the nation forward. But wow, as soon as he said it, the battle lines were drawn.
And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is this a noble call to action, a sacrifice needed to build a stronger country? Or is it just asking way too much, to the point where it becomes exploitation? Let's dive into all the different sides of this argument.
Okay, so the first big pushback wasn't even about patriotism. It was actually about something a lot more practical. Critics immediately jumped in and asked, hang on, do more hours on the clock actually mean more work gets done?
This right here gets to the heart of it. Critics say that focusing only on the quantity of hours, the sheer number, completely misses the point. The real goal, they argue, shouldn't be to work longer, but to work smarter. It's all about the quality and the efficiency of what you produce.
And then, of course, there's the human cost. This is a huge part of the whole conversation. Health experts chimed in almost immediately, saying a 70-hour work week just isn't sustainable. It's a recipe for burnout, chronic stress, serious sleep problems, and a whole list of other health issues. Basically, work-life balance just goes out the window. And this leads to a really interesting point. It's not just a gut feeling. There's actual data on this. Studies have shown that after you work a certain number of hours, your productivity doesn't just stall, it actually starts to go down. So pushing past that point means you're putting in more time but getting less done.
Naturally, if you're going to talk about people working way more, the conversation is going to turn to money. The debate pretty quickly shifted from talking about time to talking about pay.
This is the question that just hit home for millions of young professionals. I mean, think about it. A 70-hour week is a massive increase in what you're putting in. So people started asking, where's the massive increase in what we're getting out?
Now just take a look at this. This might be one of the most powerful arguments critics brought up. They pointed out that at a company like Infosys, the salary for a brand new employee has pretty much stayed the same for over 20 years. Back in 1999, it was about 3.55 lakh rupees. And in 2023, well, it's still right around that same number.
And this phrase just sums up the feeling perfectly. The ask is for a huge increase in effort and sacrifice, but when you look at the numbers, the reward, especially for people just starting out, just hasn't kept up, not even close.
This quote from one of the critiques really captures that sentiment. The worry is that Murthy's proposal creates a system where people are putting in an incredible amount of hard work but seeing very little personal benefit from it. And that, they say, is a dangerous path that just leads to frustration and people leaving their jobs.
But the debate didn't stop with just hours and salaries. It actually got a lot deeper and started raising some really big questions about the ethics of the whole thing.
Some critics didn't hold back at all. They started using really strong terms like corporate slavery. And what they mean by that is a situation where you exploit someone's hard work for low pay, but you frame it as a noble sacrifice for some greater cause, whether it's the company or, in this case, the nation itself.
So, you end up with two completely different ways of looking at the exact same proposal. Is it a genuine appeal to patriotism, a call for people to do their duty to build the nation? Or, as the critics see it, is it really just a convenient way to justify getting cheap labor?
And this brought up another tough point, moral hypocrisy. See, critics pointed out that when Narayan Murthy was working 85 or 90 hours a week, he was building his own company. He had ownership, he had control, the rewards came directly to him. A regular salaried employee, on the other hand, takes on all the stress and risk of overwork, but without that ownership or the chance for a huge payoff. It's just not an apples-to-apples comparison.
So, after all the back and forth about productivity, pay, and ethics, what's the big picture here? Where does this whole conversation leave us?
At the end of the day, this has become way bigger than one man's opinion. It's sparked a really fundamental conversation about what kind of work culture India wants for its future. Is it going to be a culture built on grinding out long hours, or one that values efficiency, well-being, and, fair pay? And that leaves us with this final, really important question to think about. I think everyone can agree that building a strong nation is a good goal, but this whole debate forces us to ask who exactly is supposed to pay the price for that progress, and is the price being asked fair?